Pledge of Allegiance and everything. So, call this meeting of February 22nd, 2021 at 6:02 p.m. to order. Pledge allegiance and invocation by Pastor Jimmy Davis tonight. Invocation, Furman, if you don't mind leading us in the Pledge of Allegiance, Marine Corps. So if you don't mind, please remain standing for the invocation. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation. Your special church this day. Also move on our city mayor, Lord. She has a special need. Asking you to touch her at this time and bless these men and women. Give them wisdom, knowledge, and understanding to do thy will. In Jesus' name, amen.
Thank you, Pastor Davis. Roll call.
Ambrose,
Here.
Button,
Here.
Kale,
Here.
Raymond,
Here.
Creighton.
Here.
We have a quorum.
City Attorney report out of closed session.
Yes, Mayor, the council received information and provided direction based on information given by legal counsel as relates to the real property matters listed therein. And legal counsel also provided information and information, and the council provided direction regarding the cases of anticipated and initiation of litigation as listed on the agenda.
Thank you. Subsequent need items.
Mayor, there are no subsequent need items.
Approval of agenda as posted or amended. I'd like to amend the agenda for the ceremonial matters for Commissioner Warshaw to postpone to a later date and approve as amended.
I'll second.
Kale,
Yes.
Ambrose,
Yes.
Raymond,
Yes.
Button,
Yes.
Creighton.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Ceremonial matters. Certificate of recognition for Furman Perez, the greatest guy in town. Mayor Pro Tem Kale and myself will present you a certificate tonight, but the council is going to join you down there. But Councilman Kale is going to take the lead. So if you don't mind joining us down here, and council, would you join us down there, please? Do you have? Chief, you got a microphone?
One, two. All right. Yes, how about you guys? All right, so a couple of months ago, probably about 3 months ago, Paul and I went over to help Furman feed the homeless in and around the community of Atwater. And after we got done, I said, we got to make sure we recognize Furman and Casey Tequila for all the good things they do. Not only do they do feed the homeless, he's always trying to get stuff for kids and help the underprivileged kids get more things so they can get involved in sports and everything associated with that young kids should be doing. And so I told Paul, I said, we really need to recognize Furman and Casey Tequila. I've known Furman for a long time, back when I was as big as he was. And he has to be one of the nicest men I've ever met. He truly is a very, very nice man. He's always thinking about the community. He's always thinking about his family. and his family's been around here for a long, long time, very long time, and fed the community the whole time, doing great food. So the city outlander would like to give a certificate of recognition, Roy confirmed praise for all of his contributions to the city. Thank you very much, Furman. And we'll let you say a few words about this lovely woman next to you.
Hello, everyone. This is my fiance, Gail. Quick story is, we dated 30 years ago, okay? And we just got up with each other again. So we're gonna get married here pretty soon. So I'm very grateful for her, be a part of my life now. I wanna thank the city for this award here. You know, my grandparents started the Tequila Cafe, and they always helped the community. My parents, John and Luisa, did the same thing with Tequila Cafe, and I'm just trying to carry on the tradition they started. And I want to thank everybody again.
So, John had it wrong. John's actually the driving force, but Furman, you do give a lot to this community. I don't know if everybody knows, but if you're hungry, you know, and you're down on your luck, this man always gives whatever he's got in his wallet or whatever he's got cooked in his kitchen. He never turns you away, and you know, he always takes the people in our community that are down on their lucks and down and out, and he uplifts them, and you hold people in higher esteem that are below you. That's a model for everybody to follow, and it's heartfelt, and it's part of our community. It's what we're about here in Atwater, and that's why we're doing so well, is because people like you in our community. It takes business owners and individuals in our community to reach out and lift other people up and help them out, like Pastor Davis, your church. You know, what we have going on in Atwater is very special. This doesn't happen in every community. There's a lot of negative talk about the homeless. There's a lot of negative stereotyping, and we don't do that, you know. We have Linda Dash is here too. She helps with the homeless quite a bit, and you know, we look at people for people, because any one of us could ever be homeless. It could happen. There's no guarantee that none of us will never be homeless or anything else. And the way Furman treats people and what you've done over the last 20 years and what your family's contributed to Merced County and the city of Atwater with your guys' restaurant is amazing. And we're lucky to have you here in our community now and carrying on that family tradition. So very, very awesome. I'd like to let the other two council members say a quick word too.
Just thank you for your service and putting yourself second, for your citizens is one of the greatest things you can do. So appreciate it.
Yes, thank you very much for everything that you do, from feeding the homeless to making sure everyone has a meal on Thanksgiving, to getting people their haircuts, their kids their haircuts, the backpacks, everything that you do. And the way that you sacrifice yourself for it, because I know you have some medical issues that you fight through to make sure all of this stuff happens, because you put everyone else above your own needs. So thank you.
Well, one of the biggest things I want to say is I cannot do this without the community. The community, the city of Atwater, believe it or not, when I'm down, don't have a whole lot to give, you guys, I'm telling you, you guys step up. You help me out in a lot of ways. You help me with the turkeys. You help me donations. You help me bring the families. I mean, without the city, without you guys, none of this could be possible. And most of all, thank God upstairs that He allows me to continue doing this. Once again, thank you.
Thank you again for all you do. Thank you very much.
So if you guys want to take some pictures, we'll take a little 2 or 3 minute break. You guys can take some pictures with your family and everything. been to Taste the Tequila, you better get over there because that's the best food around. Monthly verbal report by Merced County District Supervisor 3, Supervisor Darren McDaniel. Welcome.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Council. I just want to do a quick update on the vaccinations. I know I touched base on it, but we were able to acquire other vaccinations through Dignity Health with UC Merced and Merced College, and we ran that last week, and we're going to continue to do it this week. Within 2 weeks, we're going to start doing a second round. But out there, I just want to report to you that we did 3,562 vaccines at that one pod. A pod is a point of distribution. Those were not allocated vaccinations for Merced County. Those were in addition to. So a big thank you goes to UC Merced and Dignity Health for putting that together, and then the nursing school at Merced College to administer it along with the county. I keep trying to make sure people, a lot of times city managers or CEOs of counties don't get the recognition, but it was Jim Brown who came up with the inception. He and I throwing it back and forth in his office. He came up with the idea. I got to just be there and watch it happen, and Jim Brown's the one who actually put this together. So for all the thanks that the city managers, CEOs don't get, I just want to say they are actively working on this. I also wanted to bring up today, the governor, something we've been working on with the governor for about 6 weeks. We kept getting promises, and never followed through. But as soon as this Friday, the state is making available another 34,000 vaccines. These doses are on a one-time basis to vaccinate food and agricultural workers. That will be throughout the 8 counties here in the San Joaquin Valley. But it's something we've been working hard on, and it will not come out of our allocation. And then going forward with the distribution of vaccines, I know they keep throwing a lot of more people into the mix to get the vaccine, and we continue to run out of vaccines. As you know, we had some delayed because of the weather throughout the Midwest this past week. We should be receiving those vaccines at any time now. But the new allocation and distribution is going to be, they're going to base it off population, with 70% of the employment formula will be the 65 and over, and 30% will then be allocated to Central Valley due to heavy concentration of food and agricultural workers. So we do feed the world here, and they've looked at it as a national security issue. So we're going to start focusing on direct allocation to some of our workers. And as we know, a lot of our farm workers don't have political lines. Like right now, they are coming from Yuma, Arizona to start the season here in California, and depending on where the work is where they end up. So working with the governor's office, we are looking to approach this, because if we don't have food distribution or being able to farm it, we don't have food here in the United States. Are there any questions?
Thank you, Supervisor McDaniel.
Thank you.
Consent calendar.
Information has been provided on all matters listed under the consent calendar, and these items are considered to be routine. All items under the consent calendar are normally approved by one motion. If discussion is requested on any item, that item will be removed from the consent calendar for separate action.
Are there any items on the consent calendar that the City Council would like to remove for separate discussion or possible action? Any members of the public like to comment on any item on the consent calendar?
Mayor, I do have one public comment card.
Okay.
It's for Linda Dash.
Do you want us to read the card, or do you want to speak? No, she just had a comment.
I just have a question. Why $204,000 to this law firm now? I looked at the itemized, and I'm just kind of curious. I know, I've been looking at what they're being paid monthly as comparing that to Churchill White, and I'm just curious why $204,000 tonight we're paying them.
Thank you. Any other members?
No, Mayor, that was the only comment card that we had.
Thank you. Council direction?
I'll motion to approve consent calendar.
Second.
Motion by Button, second by Ambrose. Raymond's offline.
Thank you. Button,
Yes.
Kale,
Yes.
Ambrose,
Yes.
Creighton,
Yes.
motion passes.
Reports and presentations from staff. Item 7, Police Department 2020 Annual Report. Chief Mike Salvador, take it away. Are we, real quick, are we going to be streaming the PowerPoint as he's speaking, or are we going to be, how are we doing this?
So the PowerPoint will show to the folks at home
Okay,
as well as up here on the screen.
okay.
Chief, this is for you.
Thank you, Mayor, members of the council, citizens of Atwater. Mike Salvador, the police chief. Today's kind of a special day for me. Yesterday was my second anniversary with the city of Atwater. So we're here to talk about what happened in 2020. And I want to thank people like Furman and Linda and all the people in this room that have welcomed me here to Atwater and been very, very helpful and helped me do my job to the best of my ability. So, without further ado, the police department is a general fund consumer. It is not designed to be a general fund maker. It isn't designed to make money. It's not a business. It is a consumer of resources. In 2020, our budget was $7.6 million. 65% of that came from the general fund. 25% of that came from Measure H. And the last 10% was a conglomeration of things like the community facilities districts, the abandoned vehicle fund, grants, both state, local, and federal. And it all comes together into 4 budget units, and that is the police department's main sources of revenue. We focused on service delivery. That was one of the things that I really focused with the guys and the gals about. And we saw an immediate increase with our engagement with the public. In 2018, we ran 21,000, almost 22,000 calls for service. 2019, we ran almost 29,000. And in 2020, we ran just a little over 23,000 calls for service. Now, you'll ask yourself, why the bump? Well, in 2020, we redefined what a call for service was. And this is a more accurate representation of police officers in front of houses. And the shelter-in-place orders and the loss of the school resource officer program during 2020 really impacted our calls for service. This is kind of a shining star with one big thorn in the middle of it. This is our statistics from the 2020 UCR. This is a uniform crime reporting system. It is going away next year, or this year. So this will all change. But the last full year of 2020 UCR, we saw a 20% decrease in total UCR crimes over last year. Majority of those were in property crime type segments. The thorn that I talk about is we had 4 homicides last year. That's the only crime on this list that there isn't a crime prevention program for. Unfortunately, violence is definitely up. Our assaults were a little higher than last year, but fortunately our sex crimes, our robberies, our arsons, both burglaries, thefts, and stolen vehicles were all down significantly. And that's, I would attribute our residents for. They're doing a lot of reporting. We're able to get on this stuff quickly. This is the graph that when I saw it, I went, what happened during this graph? This is our traffic accident statistics. We were down 8.3% over last year, or 2019, and our injury vehicle accident total decreased by almost 23% over 2019. And the number one reason for this was the shelter-in-place orders in the spring of 2020. And you can see that. We run our typical spike in January, February, and then the bottom falls out of our statistics in March and April. That was the height of the maximum cooperation of people off the streets, and our traffic accident statistics and our injury vehicle accident statistics both show that. And as the economy is ramping back up and people are back out again, it's been a gradual upturn through November, and then we start to see that downslide again with the holidays. The rest of our units, animal control and the code enforcement divisions, our animal control officers run about a call and a half a day. We had about 512 calls for service. The animal shelter piece, that is the piece that we've tried to control, but the way the county's animal shelter and their contracts with the cities are structured, I can't control. We had 980 animals sheltered out of the city of Atwater, but only 130 of those were by animal control officers. The rest of them are citizens that pick up their animals, take them out to the shelter then charges the city for that service. Our code enforcement officer handled over 3,000 calls for service in 2020. That's up over last year. We had over 460 enforcement actions, but we had 90% compliance. If we got tickets out to people, they would call right back, get with the code enforcement officer, they'd work this out, we'd get the matters taken care of. It's been a very, very successful program. We had over 150 abandoned vehicle calls during the year, and we seized 42 cars that met the criteria for the abandoned vehicle program. That program pays for 10% of the code enforcement officer and 10% of a CSO. Then displaced citizen enforcement and monitoring and contact and data collection. We were in 21 sites.
Is that what that picture is?
That is exactly what that picture is. We were in 21 sites over the year. Highly successful. I'm going to thank Linda personally for a lot of the work she did over the year with us. We made a big impact.
Can you elaborate more on that tracking that you guys are showing on that image there?
Sure.
Tell everybody what that is.
Sure. Basically, all those pins are individual homeless sites throughout the city. Most of them on private property, some of them on public lands. We've had a really good working relationship with the the Merced Irrigation District, the school districts, the Santa Fe Railway, and now this last month we had a partnership with the Union Pacific Railway, and then a lot of the private property owners in the area that would report this stuff to us. We would go out, we would try to get them services if they so desired, and then take abatement action if necessary. But there was 21 individual sites during 2020 that we had a really good success with. The strategic plan and our 2021 goals. When I took over in April of 2019, we talked about a strategic plan. It was supposed to be 3 years. We had a lot of goals on it and a lot of things to do. And I'm proud to report that we got 99% of those things done. in the 2 years I've been your chief. The main updates for this year, which really cleans up and rolls into 2021, is we finally upgraded and deployed our new computer-aided dispatch system that brought GPS to the forefront. It allowed us to redeploy our police officers into beats. It gave us real-time statistics on response times into areas. It helped make this report, instead of a 1 week deal, about a 2 hour deal. And it really gives me as a chief a pulse based on your council districts, because that's how our beats are generally laid out, on how crime is affecting and where we need to put resources at the time. Another one of our goals that we got armed up right before the holidays was our body camera system. Our police officers now are deployed with taser body cameras. We're getting very, very good results as far as training and making sure our people are portraying to our citizens our values, which is professional service in a timely manner. We finally fixed the radio system. We're still working with the county on some of the dead spots, but all the equipment has been replaced, all has been installed, and our people have the latest in radio equipment. We're about halfway through with our fleet refresh. COVID really hit us here. Our 4 patrol cars are being built as we speak. We didn't receive them in 2020 like we thought, but COVID affected the entire supply chain, from Havas to Dodge to Ford. And then personnel-wise, we did hire some reserve officers. They've been moving through. We've hired them now full-time. We went through another testing cycle for sergeant. We'll be back at the March meeting for that. So we're really, really happy. We got 2 guys through SLI over the year. It was a really good year for training and personnel, even with COVID. So what are we going to do in 2021? Year 3 of the strategic plan. We're going to finish it. We've already started the building renovation project. The evidence room is loaded, it is secure, and it meets all the criteria from the DOJ report and the grand jury reports. Really proud to say that today, because we put the last desk in at 9 o'clock this morning. Wow. So the new evidence room is up and active. Personnel development, I will elaborate. We're going to have a new sergeant in March. I made that announcement to the winning candidate on Friday, and I'm meeting with all the rest of the competitors. I've got one more to meet tonight. We'll get them into SLI as soon as there's an open spot. We are preparing for a functional department reorganization based around single supervisors over every patrol shift, a supervisor in detectives, a supervisor over non-sworn, and a supervisor over community services, which is going to be now code enforcement, animal control, and abandoned vehicle. All going to have a single supervisor. And then in 2021, I'm going to ask for a second in command as part of the 2022 budget. And with that, 3 minutes and 30 seconds later, I want to thank the council for its support. I want to thank Lori for her support. I want to thank this community for their support. It's been probably the most rewarding, and I haven't worked this hard in 10 years. But during the building renovation project, to see 7 of my employees show up on their own time to paint their office made it worth it. They've been through hell, and hopefully now we're on a path that never ever happens again. And I'm proud to go out and say that I lead Atwater PD. A lot of people talk about Atwater PD, and I want to personally say that there isn't a finer bunch of police officers that I've had the privilege of leading and working with. They come to work and bring it every single day. And it makes it easy for me to, sit with a paint roller and do what we do to make it their place a better place to work in. So, thank you again for everything you've done for us as a department, me personally, and I'll take questions.
Council, you have any questions? Cale? Ambrose?
With the body cameras, what percentage are we at as far as that are wearing the body cameras right now?
100%.
It's 100%.
It is 100%, including the chief. I'm not wearing mine. I left it charging on my desk. But if the chief's in uniform, he has a body camera on. It's 100%.
Good job, Chief. We're looking forward to 2021 being even better than 2020.
Me too.
Keep up the good work.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Tell your officers thank you for all they do.
Thank you. I will.
Item 8, Fire Department 2020 Annual Report. Chief Labiazu. How you say Ayuso?
Ayuso. Correct.
Okay. I used to know how to say it. Now I know.
Now. Good evening, Mayor and Council. Robert Ayuso, CAL FIRE and your Atwater City Fire Department Battalion Chief. I just want to thank you for the opportunity to address you this evening. Part of my report here, I'd like to cover some things that we accomplished in 2020, as well as some topics that I think that maybe the public hasn't been educated on accurately, and I think I can address some of those issues. And me as the battalion chief here, I'd like to have that opportunity. So, moving on.
Congratulations on your promotion, by the way.
Thank you, Mayor.
You got a local guy finally in charge.
I don't mean to get sidetracked, but I'm super stoked to be here. And I've spent 6 years at Station 42, so I'm very involved with the public.
I got stopped at Save Mart. They were thanking us on the council for getting a fire chief from Atwater. So I said,
Awesome.
good job on you. That was all you.
Well, I appreciate it. And like I said, I do have passion for the community here. I'm a local. You've probably heard it before, but I'm not going anywhere.
That's right.
And you got my word. In 4 or 5 years, you can replay this YouTube video and see it.
Hold you to that.
You may want me gone by then. When do we say here? I'm not mechanic or IT. There we go. All right. So, which one again? Down. There we go. I had it upside down. So, a little background that I know the council understands, but we are Atwater City Fire Department. This is Atwater City Fire Stations, Atwater City Fire Equipment, staffed with CAL FIRE employees. The city contracts with CAL FIRE to provide service and run the operations of the fire department. I see on multiple occasions through social media outlets and different news media outlets as well, they reference CAL FIRE responded. I just want to reiterate the fact that this is the Atwater City Fire Department. We have the opportunity to serve the community as CAL FIRE. With that, we have 2 fire stations downtown on Broadway, Station 41, and on the east side of town, Station 42, located behind Buhack Colony High School on Avenue 2. Within the department, we've got 11 paid employees, CAL FIRE employees, 2 of which are battalion chiefs, myself, the operations battalion chief, and Chief Overbay is the fire marshal. We've got 4 captains, 5 engineers, and we all work 72 hours a week minimum. That's 3 days straight. We have 5 active reserves. Actually now recently 4. 1 got deployed. He's active in the military, so he had the opportunity to serve our country, so he's going to be on leave for a little bit, and they're required to do 36 hours a month. They do a 24-hour shift and a 12-hour shift at the station with us. So what do? I know most make jokes that we sit in recliners all day. It's not all we do. So we're an all-risk fire department. What that means is we run all types of incidents, emergency and non-emergency incidents, including but not limited to structure fires, vegetation fires, medical aids, public service assist, vehicle accidents, vehicle fires, technical rescues, hazardous materials incidents, and everything in between. We're on duty 24/7, 365 days a year. We run automatic aid, an automatic aid agreement with Merced County Fire, and what that does is it provides the closest resource for emergency incidents. So you may notice on the northwest side of town by Atwater High, we get a white engine 63 out of Winton, that runs primarily medical aids on that side of town. And what that does is provide the closest resource, quickest response, and then you will see city equipment in the county based on that agreement. So that's just to provide closest resource and quickest response, provide the best service. So 2020 stats, Station 41 ran over 2,800 calls, and Station 42 was just over 1,800 for a total of 4,627 calls. It's an average of about 13 calls per day, which is pretty busy for a department this size. You can see a breakdown of some of the key incidents that we ran last year. So Chief Overbay oversees the fire prevention component of our department. Part of that is inspections. Between him and the fire engines, they conducted 804 inspections last year. And then Chief Overbay does all the plan reviews, general services, and he conducted or completed 48 of those. Something to touch on, this is one of those little things that I know the public gets irritated with us doing inspections and that sort of thing. Most of us remember the Ghost Ship fire in Oakland. It was a nightclub fire that several people tragically got injured or lost their lives, and it was directly related to lack of inspections or inaccurate inspections being conducted. So SB 1205 is a state mandate requiring all municipalities to conduct annual inspections on apartments, hotels, assemblies, which includes churches and hotels. So that's why we're out and we have to do those. Just a list of some day-to-day operations that we do. Training is big. Report writing, every single incident we run, we've got a report to write. We oversee the operational budget, do hydrant flows, conduct ISO reviews, which we'll cover a little bit later here. We do grant writing on occasion. Social media, we've got 2 pages, an Instagram and a Facebook page that the guys at the stations do a really good job at running. Small equipment and SCBA maintenance is in-house. Also, the personnel at the stations. We provide CPR AED training for the entire city as part of the contract. We live at the station, so station projects and household chores, day-to-day cleaning, cooking, that sort of thing. We conduct pre-plans, and then with the ladder truck, we, at a Station 42 or a hub for the CAL FIRE Madera, Mariposa, Merced unit-wide ladder truck program, and there are special requirements to work those stations, so they're a key component with that. Public education is a big thing for fire. Every 15 minutes, toy drives, Christmas parade, 4th of July, and then anything additional as requested. So equipment, currently at Station 41, we've got a 2010 Ferrera and a 1999 high-tech engine 241, which functions as the reserve engine. And then engine 42 is now first out of Station 42. It's a 1990 high-tech, and we recently started cross-staffing truck 42. The reason for that is so we can try to keep the wear and tear down on that piece of equipment and focus more on
I thought the
responding to
42 engine was a 1989. The city bought it in 89, so they have it dated as a 90.
It's a 90, yeah.
But it was purchased in 89.
Um,
A long time ago.
You're right. So with that, yeah, the truck is being cross-staffed. It's going to run primarily to incidents that it should. So engine 42 right now is running first out. And the reason for that is in preparation for this new guy, engine 41, 2020 Rosenbauer Commander. We're looking at, we're flying back next week to do the final, and we expect to see it here and start outfitting probably early to mid April.
And this unit's replacing the 89 or 90 unit.
So moving on to the next slide. Yep, we're going to put that in at Station 41. And this, once again, cross-staffing the truck hasn't been realistic in the past. We just haven't had equipment to put in service long enough to do that, and we need reliable equipment to run. Regardless, you know, the truck is reliable. The 1990, obviously not so much, but with the new engine coming in, we've started somewhat of a equipment replacement plan, but you can see now we've got a 2010, we're pushing 11, 12 years old on that engine. So obviously with age of equipment being 18 years, we're seeing extensive maintenance costs. So trying to reduce that. The plan is engine 41 will go first out at Station 41. The 2010 will go to Station 42. The plan is to retire engine 42, but we're going to have to evaluate that once the equipment gets here and we're able to really see how everything's looking at that point.
And that unit will help extend the life of that ladder truck
Yes,
so much further.
correct. And once again, you know, we want to cross-staff it. We want to provide the best service at the same time. So we're responding it to certain incidents that it's intended for, but we won't be running it into Castlewood or Castle Gardens on medical aid. So yeah, definitely it's going to save wear and tear on that piece of equipment. So some current capabilities and limitations, some minor things that the public doesn't understand, and you know, as in part of the fire service. Large diameter hose is what we hook to the fire hydrants. We don't have that capability to pump that style hose other than truck 42. With the new engine, we'll have that capability. It is a crucial component in structure fire tactics. Current age of equipment, like I said, is 18 years, so it's extensive maintenance costs. I want to touch a little bit on truck 42. I know we've talked about it, but just educating. I know in past meetings, planning commission meetings as well, we've focused a lot on the development of the city and what's been coming in as far as businesses go and that sort of thing. So that takes infrastructure. And regardless if there's been issues about the truck, I just want to reiterate the fact that the infrastructure there supports not only the 3-story buildings like we're seeing across the street, but we're talking single story. That piece of equipment is not just used for high-rise buildings. That piece of equipment is a big toolbox.
Target.
Your Targets, your Big Fives, your car washes, a lot of things that we don't necessarily think about until the time comes where you need that piece of equipment. So I kind of covered a little bit of it, but the 109-foot aerial, high-rise buildings, right? Well, not only that, rope rescue operations, confined space, we can set up full aerial rigging with it for confined space rescues. Aerial waterway, big water, we've used it on residential structure fires on multiple occasions where we need big water over the top. Scene lighting and a whole lot more. Something that most don't know, engines, tallest ground ladder we have, a 24-foot extension ladder. The truck provides not only the 109-foot aerial, but a full 115 feet of ground ladders, over double what any of the engines have, a 35-foot ground ladder, 24, and some additional. So it's got 3 to 4 times the amount of extrication equipment. It's a big rescue, essentially. Vehicle accidents, it's huge. Like I said, full rope rescue complement, and the only one here and in surrounding areas that has it. And then several hand tools and saws and that sort of thing that are crucial in firefighting tactics. So this leads to
So
my next
on that
topic.
real
Go ahead.
quick, Bobby, can you back up that slide? The tools in our toolbox, and we talked about this with the chief and the planning department and recreation, everybody else. This slide right here is important to the residents, that this is what they have when they have somebody roll out for an Atwater incident. You don't get this in all the other communities. This is a big tool that we have in our toolbox. And you were talking about the additional equipment that we have on it, the apparatuses and things like that, that when we have our fire equipment roll up, we're not calling on somebody else. We're going to be able to have our own people, our own trucks, provide us with the very best technical, state-of-the-art, and all the tools they need to help us when we're in distress. And that's important. I just want to focus on that slide right here, that this is why we're doing what we're doing in the police department and the fire department, by upgrading things so that if you're in an accident or your home catches fire or something happens, it's not the Keystone cops or the old firemen running up and down a ladder. We've got professional people and equipment.
Exactly. Appreciate that. You nailed it. There's just a lot of things that, without pulling that thing out and opening every single compartment for every person in the public, which I'd be happy to do. You'll never understand, and when your house catches on fire, I know that you're going to want the best equipment there, so we feel like with council's help, we've done a good job at providing that, so we do appreciate that. Which leads us into the next topic, ISO. ISO is something that some don't know, is Insurance Services Office, and it's a company that evaluates fire suppression capabilities for different municipalities and jurisdictions. It analyzes the data and assigns a public protection classification grade to the community. Currently, your grade is a 3, which is outstanding for a community this size. Just 7 years ago, it was a 5. A simple review when Chief Pimentel was here dropped it to a 4. And then when Truck 42 got put in service, I had the pleasure of doing the ISO review with the rep. Very interesting process, and we dropped it to a 3.
So elaborate a little bit more on ISO. Most people don't know, they have their home insurance or their business insurance. People don't understand what that really means. And by doing what the fire department has been able to do the last 4 years about addressing it and putting the right equipment in to get a better ISO rating is what for a homeowner?
It's lower rates. So it essentially, your homeowners, and based on the information and research that I was able to gather, dropping from a 5 to a 3 saves the homeowners about 5 to 10% in cost savings. So it doesn't sound like much. However, when you think about encompassing the whole community and putting those numbers together, that's a lot of savings, right? Where it's huge though, and I did a lot of research, myself and Chief Overbay as well. Not only that, 5 to 10% savings, but you see as much as 15% for commercial businesses. We've reached out to some developers in the area, and the layman's terms that we've gathered from them, yes, ISO is huge, huge. Like they said, a 5 or a 4 is a red flag. They want to see 1s, and we're going to work in that direction. But it's 5 and a 4 is a red flag, 3 is a yellow flag. They're still able to kind of pursue it, but you got to think of it this way. We come in and we're a 4. They've either got to pay extra fines or they've got to provide the equipment or the funding to get that infrastructure. So we were able to provide that, and they're now coming in. We're seeing more businesses come in. And I'm not saying it's all directly related to the fire service. It's everybody. It's police department.
But it does incentivize.
But ISO is an evaluation of the fire protection services of the community, correct?
Right.
And that's just one of several different components that insurance is used for providing that homeowner's insurance number. So some accomplishments from 2020. We obviously did get that new Type 1 pumper, a new set of extrication tools on an OTS grant. And then we did get a second grant accepted, so those are on order. We'll be getting another set. And then just recently we applied for a third set. So we're hoping to get, and those are all battery operated tools now. So
Cordless.
quick, easy, full complement though. We're getting every tool we have, but in a battery fashion, so we're able to quickly pull them out and get to work. We implemented, or I should say Chief Overbay spent endless hours implementing new software, Incident View, for conducting business inspections and all of our inspections for that matter, and digitizing and streamlining that process, which has been extremely beneficial for all of us in time and just less paperwork. It's all electronic now. So our process is divided into 4 quarters based on occupancy type for inspections. So he's done a good job with that. I just kind of want to reiterate what Chief Salvador said. I mean, we saw the things we've done and the things we have and the accomplishments we've made, and it's strictly due to the support that we have from council, staff. I know I'm new in this position, and I've literally had to call on every single person in the city, I feel like, and everybody's been quick to help me. I truly appreciate it. Glenn, IT, the PowerPoint was all Glenn. You nailed it. I appreciate it. I just can't say it enough. Like I said before, I'm here long term, and I know that it's just going to take time for me to prove that. But I have passion here. I want to see positive things, and I know that on behalf of my supervisors and the department, we're flattered to serve as the Atwater City Fire Department.
Well, together with this council, we're going to do a lot of good things in the fire department.
And
Councilman
I do
Gibby?
have a quick video, and then I'll get
Okay.
some questions if you
That'd be
guys-
great. Go ahead and do the video.
So this is just to show you guys kind of a perspective and see where we're at.
That's the ladder truck?
That's the ladder truck, correct. We've assisted PD multiple times with issues on roofs and stuff like that. That was one of them, the old K-barn. Food for less.
Excellent video. Council, you have any questions? Comments?
Yeah, I have one. On your day-to-day operations, you said you guys do CPR and AED training, and that's for city employees?
All the city employees, correct.
Okay, it's not open to the public to do
No, there, it kind of gets to a conflict of interest, if you will.
that? Okay, yeah.
But there are different avenues that we can take if you're interested or need that. We could provide that training for council. Obviously, I know that if it's something outside of that, I think it would. We've got some other routes we can take.
Okay, thank you.
Ambries?
Just a couple of comments. First, you got Councilwoman Kell very excited with that video.
I like it.
And the second comment, just congratulations. And I know you've been here for a while, but welcome aboard with your new position.
Thank you, Mr. Ambries.
Councilman Button? No comments? You don't have anything? That was a cool video.
It's a great video.
Chief, I just want to say both Chief Salvador and Chief Bobby Ayuso.
Yep, that's close enough.
Okay.
Chief Bob.
My wife speaks 6 languages. I can barely speak English. What you guys are seeing, the citizens of Atwater, what you guys are seeing is what you guys told us to do on the council was to professionalize your city services, make it what you guys expected and demanded all along. I heard for the last 20 plus years how not flattering things. That with the right tools now, the right people in the right positions, the right tools, you guys are doing things in our department, in our city, that other jurisdictions are envious of. And I think, that goes back to what you two are doing with both the departments, the city manager, and you guys are listening to what the community wants. It's not, you guys aren't coming in here trying to do your own thing. You hear what the citizens want, you hear what the council's telling you the citizens are saying, and you guys are delivering, and it's paying dividends. And I'm super proud, and I'm excited about what the future holds for us in Atwater with the fire department and the police department. Great things are happening, but even better things are to come, and just really exciting I can't wait for that truck to get here. You guys are going to go up and look at it for the final inspection. Having a vehicle replacement program is amazing. That saves this community hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars being wasted. We had Crown Vics that were 19. What's the oldest Crown Vic we took out of service since you've been here? Was it the
2004.
2004. I was going to say 70s. I thought we had a Crown Vic from the 70s back then.
No, we had a van that far back.
Okay. It's important that these two departments that roll every day, all day, 24/7, that we don't waste our resources on broken down equipment and doing things wrong. And the digitization of what both departments are doing with reports, we know where our service areas in the fire department we need to focus more on. We know what type of calls you guys are doing and we need to focus more on. Police department, we know that we need to be at every door, which now when they roll for that call, dispatch knows where every unit's at. The body cams are helping our guys feel safer on their job, and there's just a lot of exciting things in technology that's come that's put us world class in a short period of time with not a lot of money. And I'm just super excited, and I thank the council, and especially I thank the citizens for letting us perform for you guys. So thank you, Atwater residents, and thank you, both chiefs.
Thank you.
Good presentation.
Thank you, Chief Salvador, for everything you guys do.
Well,
I know we give each other a hard time, but
Yeah, no, we do.
Competition's good.
We have a little fun. Now he's upped his game, so now I've got to come back with the music video, and then I'm gonna have to beat him there next year. So
Good.
it's all good.
talked about TikTok, but
Yeah, you did.
You know who benefits from this is our residents. So you guys,
Yeah,
we're going to keep
we'll have fun with this.
against each other there so we get better performance. We can always do better, even us up here. So thank you, Atwater residents, for allowing us to get the tools to our fire department and our police department. Great presentation. City manager reports and updates. Item 9, resolution determining continued need for emergency repairs at Canal Creek Bridge Project 21-01.
This is actually going to be presented by Community Development Director, Public Works Director, Greg Thompson.
Director Thompson, take it away.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor and members of the council. Thank you for your consideration of this item. I'm not sure if any of the council members have had an opportunity to go out to the bridge located on Avenue 1 at Canal Creek. With the recent storms and the lack of maintenance activity within the channel, there has been turbulence around the bridge base and some undermining that has occurred and has caused not only the channel to be deteriorated, but a portion of the road surface is separated away from the bridge bank.
Can you back up and give like history so people that don't know anything about this project?
Okay,
What you're
so
talking about?
the city of Atwater, through an annexation, acquired some property which included the bridge that was constructed originally by the county on Avenue 1 at Canal Creek Crossing.
So when you say we acquired some property, when the city did annexation, it inherited some roadways.
Correct.
And crossings.
Correct.
And this is one of them that collapsed.
Correct. Well, yes, not only did the road surface separate from the bridge, but the channel itself has deteriorated, and portions of the county and most certainly the city rely on channels like this to convey our stormwater out of the city and to natural tributaries downstream. So that turbulence and that inactive maintenance activity is what's caused the need for restoration of the channel and for replacement of the road surface and repair to the bridge at that location. This was done during the most recent activity was a result of a storm event, and therefore there was no warning before the deterioration of the road surface and when it collapsed. So we're asking now for not only the work that we've had to complete under emergency corps permit, because this is a jurisdictional water body, but to repair the bridge itself.
Okay. Do we have any public comment on this?
No, Mayor, we do not.
Any members of the public like to come forward at this time on this item? Please come to the podium, state your name. Seeing none, we'll close the public comment. Bring it back to the council for direction comment.
In regards to some of the waterways, does MID, do you guys collaborate with them at all on this? I mean, I know they're obviously, is there any kind of collaboration there?
We've had direct communication with the Merced Irrigation District as well as the County of Merced. That's how we acquired some of the original plans for the bridge. It's definitely within our jurisdiction as far as the maintenance responsibility. We vetted that very early on in the process.
I think part of the need of urgency as well is the fact that the water will be turning on here shortly as well, and so we have to make these corrections.
Yeah, thank you, City Manager Waterman. As Lori stated, there is a sense of urgency about this, not only in working with the Corps, the beginning of the irrigation season with pending storm also in the horizon. We have to make sure we can get the work completed immediately to prevent further deterioration or public safety as well.
Okay, council, what's your pleasure?
I'll make a motion to adopt the resolution number 3211-21.
I'll second.
Motion by Kale, second by Button.
Ambrose,
Yes.
Button,
Yes.
Kale,
Yes.
Creighton.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Finance Director Hunter has a clarification comment that we'd like to make.
Good evening, Council, Mayor, or Mayor and Council, sorry. Yes, I wanted to come in and give some clarification to item that was on consent on our warrant listing. There was an error on our warrant listing, and it included a voided check that was had been voided prior to the actually being signed, and that was the one, and thank you, Mrs. Dash, that was the one to Myers Nave for $204,000. That one was voided prior to ever being signed, and the correct check amount was issued in $37,004.04, which is obviously much more realistic. So, Frank, stop shopping online.
Thank you.
No, 204,000. I apologize. We will present an amended warrant list for the next council so that it can be amended and correctly stated. I apologize. It was not signed, it was not approved, and unfortunately it appeared on the list. So
Thank you.
we'll get that corrected next time. Thank you. Sorry.
Comments from the public. Do we have any comment cards or emails?
We do. I'm going to read the notice to the public, and then I do have one of those. At this time, any person may comment on any item which is not on the agenda. You may state your name and address for the record, however, it is not required. Action will not be taken on an item that is not on the agenda. If it requires action, it will be referred to staff and replaced on a future agenda. Please limit comments to a maximum of 3 minutes. I have one speaker card, Mayor, and I also have 2 emails.
I couldn't hear you on that.
I have one speaker card, and I also have 2 emails.
Okay, let's do the 2 emails first.
Okay? Thank you.
Who has the timer clicker?
I do. This is from LC. Hello, Mr. Mayor and Town Council. My husband and I are 69 years young. We received both our first and second doses of the COVID vaccination at the Los Banos Fairgrounds. I would very much like to thank all of our district supervisors and elected officials in Merced County that worked to bring the vaccine supply here. Also, all of the healthcare workers and volunteers who were at the fairgrounds helping with the paperwork, administering the vaccine, and checking on the folks for reactions. Everybody was very respectful, kind, and organized. It is very comforting to have something more along with masking, social distancing, and hand washing that adds to more safety for everybody. Sincerely, with much gratitude, LC. Atwater, California. Devon Hilliard. Good evening, Mr. Mayor, City Council, and the Atwater community. I'm Devon Hilliard. I represent students with aspiring goals. I want to thank Councilman Button for reaching out to me in regards to SWAG's involvement with the City of Atwater. I was able to voice SWAG's frustration. Mr. Button was able to hear our concerns, and he was able to speak with city staff. Thank you, Mr. Button, and we look forward to hearing some solutions. Congratulations to the youth of California. This past Friday, Governor Newsom opened a pathway to participation for youth sports. The Atwater community eagerly awaits the city's plan to reopen youth activities. We knew this day was coming, and we hope the city is ready to engage our youth. Park update. Is there an update when Veterans Park will be open to the public? On February 8, Mr. Billings emailed me the following statement. As per our parks, the outdoor space on parks, except for veterans, are open and available to the public. As you are aware, Veterans Park has been under construction with the splash park and other renovation projects. We are hoping to have most of the projects completed and reopen the outdoor space at Veterans Park by the end of February 2021. Are we still on track to open Veterans Park? I'm not sure what other renovation projects are happening now that will preclude the public from using the park. Is the city moving forward with the Prop 68 grant? I saw a post on Facebook for City of Atwater residents to complete a survey for a park at the Castle Air Museum. Is this the Prop 68 project? If it is, we would like to hear about it. I am hoping we can hear from the city soon so we can start programs with our youth. I am hoping we can get an update for the City of Atwater's plan moving forward to get our youth active. As always, thank you for your time, and we look forward to working with you to make Atwater a better place. For the speaker card, I have Linda Dash.
Welcome.
Please don't touch podium. Okay, everybody has, but I will try not to. Good evening, council, city manager. You know, I was totally shocked to find out that Atwater taxpayers are paying the utility bills amounting to over $18,000 for 1 year to allow a private business person to prep his catering meals in Veterans Park. This does not include the garbage pickups each week for 12 months. This park has been locked down for over a year and not allow local youth groups like SWAG to use a community center or fields, yet this individual continues to prep his catering meals in the pavilion kitchen at Veterans Park for just about free of charge, only to build a podium for the city council, I guess this is it, and provide a Christmas dinner for city employees. Now during this time he's using this, our other businesses and caterers were locked down due to COVID, so they couldn't make any money. For 30 years, I've been actively involved in supporting youth groups in this town of Atwater. I was involved in supporting our city employees by providing many meals for them by means of just saying, thank you, we appreciate them. We never ever expected anything in return, like something free. I'm requesting that the individual, and I know who the individual is, but I won't mention the name publicly. People can call me and I'll tell them. I'm requesting that individual whose contract was for 4 months last year be required to reimburse our general fund for the amount of the utilities and garbage services for the past 12 months. Now, I was told by city staff that his contract for 4 months has been renewed, but I don't think it can be renewed unless it comes before you folks. It's a total shame that you folks sit there and lock out our kids from the park, football field, baseball field, community center, but allow a private business to utilize the park anytime he wants to make a profit. This is totally misuse of taxpayers' funds, and I don't think bartering is required. And my other question is, where's Councilman Raymond? I thought he was here earlier, and I haven't heard his little voice. So that's just it. I sure hope you take this under advisement and do something quick. I saw a car there again tonight.
Thank you. Any other members of the public that come forward at this time, please come to the podium and state your name. Welcome.
Evening, Mr. Mayor and council members. So first, I would just ask if we could extend at some point to 5 minutes for speaking time. I remember in 2017, I had to come twice because I couldn't finish in 5 minutes. And then I think a speech about the First Amendment here, I had to cut it down because I wasn't going to get it done in 3 minutes, especially talking about the law. The other thing was, would I be able to ask the chief a question?
No, you can make a statement.
Okay, so my question would be, or make a statement. So I saw the Measure H had an amount up there. So my question would be, which I could be answered later, is if any officers are under the Measure H amount, and what will happen when it sunsets in 2023, how many officers would we lose if that is true? And if that is true, would that require raising taxes again or keeping the taxes the same through the sales tax? And then that's it. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other members of the public like to come forward this time? Please step to the podium. Welcome.
Santos, I live on First Street. Mr. Mayor, Council, just a quick thing that I've been meaning to come and ask to be considered. I live on First Street between Juniper and Grove, and the past 24 months, been at least 7, 8 accidents. And the interesting part is it usually is going down. I see that the emergency vehicles usually go up in a hurry and rarely down. So my request to the council and the city and the mayor would be, if you could take a look into it, maybe put a speed bump just on the going down side, not necessarily on the other side, to help out minimize, because people just fly down. There's a 30 mile per hour sign there, but 35, 40, 45 is quickly, because they come from the stop on Juniper going down to Grove, and they just keep accelerating, and maybe, I don't know, they get distracted somehow, and including just my neighbor behind me, on my right-hand side, 3 cars alone got hit in the same 12-month period, 3 cars, so 2 parked, one when the lady was backing up to the street. And even though it's a main artery, I know it's a neighborhood. So not necessarily, putting a sign helps because people can look at it and they know, well, I should be doing 30, but I'm in a hurry, I'm going to do 50. But if there's an actual speed bump, it will reduce, they will have to actually reduce, and I think it will help. And of course, I wouldn't consider putting the speed bump all across the street, but just at least on one side, and together with the speed sign having, hey, be careful, there's a speed bump, I think it will help. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other members of the public come forward this time? Please come to the podium, state your name. Seeing none, we'll close the public comment. City Council matters. Item 10, appointment of 1 commissioner member to the unscheduled vacancy of the Atwater Planning Commission for the remaining term of 3 years ending December 31st, 2023. Staff's recommendation that the City Council nominate 1 candidate to fill the unscheduled vacancy to the Planning Commission, and a motion to appoint 1 candidate to the Planning Commission for the remaining 3 years. So it's a 2-part motion. I think City Manager Waterman can give a little quick background on it before you guys move forward.
Thank you, Mayor. So the City Council interviewed 2 applicants at the last special meeting for the scheduled vacancy for Planning Commission, and both of those applicants are interested in serving the unscheduled vacancy at this time. And so those are the applications we received. We did receive an additional application today after the closing, and so council can decide whether or not they want to extend the timeline, go with the applications that were received and interviewed already, or there is another vacancy that will be held at, or will be vacant at the end of this year for the Planning Commission as well. So it's council's pleasure.
Okay. Council, what's your direction?
Given that I don't think Councilmember Raymond is on, so I'd kind of like to entertain the idea of maybe tabling this when we can have everybody here.
Okay. Question to City Manager, do we have a quorum now in the Planning Commission?
I think the city attorney can allude to this, but we do need to fill that vacancy within 60 days, though, per our requirement.
Councilman Breeze?
When was the deadline to apply for this position?
Friday at noon.
I would, Councilman Button, I have no problems. If we got 60 days, then I have no problems waiting to make a determination until the next meeting. So I don't have any problems with that either.
So just a clarification here, then, if the deadline was this past Friday, are we going to be accepting more applications, or we're just going to push what we have going forward to the next meeting?
The council has the discretion to give direction to staff on the continuing the application deadline. You could do till Wednesday, till Friday, all the way until the Friday before the next meeting, or whatever the council wishes.
Button, did you want to clarify that?
No?
Did you want to allow the applicant?
Oh, yeah, I'm in favor of that. That's fine.
It's your pleasure, Council.
My biggest thing is just that we lost councilman member Raymond. So
we got.
Even though we have a quorum, I understand we have a quorum, but
So we need clarification on, are we just waiting for Raymond to show back up, or are we going to open up for the additional candidate that applied past the deadline?
It was really one business day.
It was Friday.
Yeah.
Friday was a deadline, and the applicant did what?
The application was received this morning.
Okay, so
if Raymond, sorry.
I was gonna say, I'm good enough with that though, to go in there and even listening to the third applicant that didn't come and didn't come for the interview process. I'm okay with listening to his too. I want to make sure we get the right person in those seats.
And my stance would be, I mean, if Raymond comes back on, we can hold it right now. I'm neutral on if this gets tabled and then in the process another applicant comes in. I don't have a stance in favor or against, but
What's council?
so I'll make a motion that we table this agenda item.
Okay, so we'll pause there and we'll open it up to public comment at this time. Any members of the public like to come forward for this agenda item? Please come to the podium, state your name.
I don't get to visit you much, so I take advantage of it. You know, you have rules. We all have rules in this world. We have deadlines. We have deadlines when we're supposed to pay our bill, okay? So this person, if they wanted, whoever they are, they thought it was important enough to be on the planning commission. They would have planned ahead of time to get their application, whether they had to hand carry it, send it by donkey or whatever, to get here by Friday. I'm sorry, it didn't get here until today. But, you know, that's the way it goes. Rules are rules. And it's not fair to the other people that I believe you said you were already interviewed. It's not fair to them to have somebody, you know, come bouncing in the following Monday. I just think, you know, that's your party, but it's really not fair. I'm sorry.
Thank you. Welcome. Please state your name for the record.
Rich Miller, 334 Silva Drive, also pastor Victory Baptist Church, 1280 Sierra Vista Street. Honestly, I didn't have a comment on this at all, but I'd have to agree with Ms. Dash. I mean, I think if the staff's ready and there was a deadline, then I don't know who these applicants are, but I would have to agree with her 100%. We do all have deadlines. If the staff has already interviewed some people, then and I understand, you know, being a new member, you know, and trusting Councilmember Raymond's advice and counsel and stuff, but you do have a quorum. and it is city business, so I would urge you to go ahead and press forward and make a decision tonight, so.
Thank you. Any other members of the public like to come forward at this time? Seeing none, we don't have a second on the motion. So seems like we're kind of at a crossroads, so I'll make a motion for Doherty. Okay.
What is your motion for?
Candidate Doherty for the Planning Commission?
Do you want me to announce the two names? Because I don't think we talked about that.
Yeah.
Maybe to remind the council. At the last meeting, we interviewed Ron Doherty and Mike Nagara for the seat of the unscheduled vacancy of the Planning Commission, which is a 3-year term.
Does council want to do ballot, or do you want to call it out? We can do ballot. Clerk, can we do the ballots? If that's what the council wants to do.
I'll second.
Okay. Go ahead and do the ballots.
No, point of order. Is she seconding Paul's?
Doherty.
Oh, he's
Yeah, that,
Okay.
okay.
Mhm.
You're going to second Paul's nomination?
So it can go to a
Doherty?
vote, yeah.
Okay.
Call for question?
Button,
Yes.
Ambrose,
No.
Kale,
Yes.
Creighton,
Yes.
Pass it over.
Okay.
Okay, we have a quorum. Motion passes. Sorry, that caught me a little, I apologize. Motion passes.
Thank you. Thank you for the applicants that applied, and then we're going to be opening up the other vacancy. What month does that open up?
The term ends December 31st of 2021.
Okay. Thank you. City council comments. Councilman Kale.
Well, I want to congratulate Furman Perez on all the hard work he did tonight, and it was great to be able to acknowledge that work. I want to say great job to the Atwater Police Department. Great presentation, Chief. I wish it would have been a video, but
Next year.
I'm sure.
You were outdone.
Next year.
But I do want to say, even though there wasn't a video, I think the city Atwater has definitely made a positive step in appointing you as the chief of police, and a true sign, a significant sign of awesome leadership was displayed tonight. Thank you, Chief. That was a great report. Bobby, I want to thank you for the Atwater Fire Department. Love that. For protecting all of our citizens and doing a great job that you guys do. It's always I always am glad to see a fire truck, and I'm one of the first ones just to wave at those guys. I'm very proud of what you guys do. You guys have been doing great. A great job for the city, so appreciate that. And I'm looking forward to getting that new fire truck and getting on it.
Councilman Budden?
First, yeah, I just want to kind of echo what Supervisor McDaniel was talking about with some of the people in the community and the surrounding community stepping up with the vaccine distribution, and you said it was Merced College nursing program. So we all got to be pulling the rope in the same direction here if we're gonna get through this, pandemic. So it's cool to hear stories like that, and with the vaccine starting to roll out more, and I saw something that I thought was encouraging, that I think it was 2 million. I think we're at 2 million a day countrywide, as a nation. And, that puts us at, I think somebody said, like around 300 million vaccine doses at the end of July. I'm not saying that that's the end of wearing masks. I just think that those are promising numbers. So that's encouraging. Yeah, I appreciate the presentations. It was the video did kind of edge it to give the fire department an edge. I have to say, the chainsaw video on the roof, that was I was in on that, and the music going, that was good. I know it's a dangerous job. My brother went through the fire department program, and it does show, like, it's dangerous, but
we have a present for the council in April. We do. Yeah, we do. We have a present for the council in April, I promise.
And I don't know if this is council appropriate, but I do want to say to, with this commission position that we had filled, and I've spoke with one of the people that are in this room right now that have, applied for this position, and we had a great problem on our hands, which was all the people that applied for that position or those positions were, we couldn't have gone wrong with one of those positions. It was a win-win situation, and I just want to encourage that person to please still be involved in the community. Please, I've had some good conversations with Michael, and he's a smart, forward-thinking person. He really cares about the community, and so just a word of encouragement. We got a lot of good people in Atwater that want to step up and want to help, and that's it's a good thing to see. So I appreciate all that, and then that's it.
Thank you. Ambrose?
That's off to the video. Chief, I get it. I understand why you can't have videos, and unfortunately some of your stuff's a little bit more gruesome. I get it. But you know what? Well,
stick around. I got this.
Just remember, I don't accept bribes, so I don't know what.
No. I get this. I get it.
But Bobby, TikTok. If you want the youth involved, and especially to be more open with you guys, both of your guys' crews out in the community, that's the way to go right now. My daughter uses it. I got family members, nieces and nephews that use it. Heck, even me as an older person, I use it too. So if you guys really want to reach out to the community, YouTube is great, Facebook is good, but TikTok right now is the thing. So if you guys really want to compete, there you go. Hopefully you guys got your dance shoes ready. For everyone else, thank you guys for coming. Thank you guys for your emails and your calls. We're here pretty much to work for you guys. Just keep that in mind. Have a good night.
Thank you. Chief, First Street and Grove, historically we've had a problem on First Street. The way planning went back in the day, we went from this beautiful tree-lined Bloss House street that was going up, heading to Five Corners, then it blew open into a 4-lane freeway, and people are busy in life, and things happen, and there's been some really bad things over the years happen there. There's a reason for stop signs, and I won't go into it, but there's some tragedies happened over there. It takes a lot for them to come to the podium to complain about something in their neighborhood. And I personally, I've walked the area, I've spent some time over there, and just the other day I was at a friend's house, and I witnessed what you're talking about. They're moving, they're thinking of something else, and they're coming down into downtown, full speed ahead, and there's little kids, and there's just homeowners trying to get out and go pick up dinner or do something normal. Well, I think we got to look at this. This has been, what do you call it, BC. So this predates you. We need a whole approach with the police chief, the public works director, the fire department, and the planning director. We need to solve this problem, not talk about it. I don't know what the solution is, but we got to fix it. It's been lingering there for the last 20 years, and we got to fix it. So I don't know what that fix is, but there's some pretty smart people we got on a payroll around here, and you guys can quickly determine what's going on with all the data you guys have, what direction they're coming, where the accidents are, where is the problem, and get it solved and bring it back to us. I would like to see that high priority, because we're moving into the summertime, spring and summer. We got a lot of good things, and people have been locked up for a year. So we're gonna have a lot of pedestrians moving around. There's a lot of good things coming downtown. So please focus on that. Also, maybe look at with the public works director, the additional of lighting in that zone. You know, there might be an opportunity to add some more LED lights. Since we've converted over, we can add several more at a no net increase. Furman Perez, great job. What a community guy. Astounds me with the stuff he does at his shop, gives away and hosts, and just a good representation of the city, and very, very proud of him. County, thank you guys for the vaccines. You're doing a good job. Let's be done with this pandemic and then get it over and get it behind us, and do all we can to vaccinate all those who need to be vaccinated, and put this one in the history books. Looks like we have a competition between PD and fire. Bobby left, so good job, Chief. I'm gonna give you the one win, 3-1. So thank you, everybody, and thank you, residents of Atwater, for allowing us to perform for you guys and do a good job. Thank you. Meeting adjourned. Oh, we're gonna adjourn the meeting in memory of our former city clerk, Fran Barrett, and former city attorney, Dennis Myers.